Rebuilding trust is probably the most essential component of recovery from infidelity. It isn't an easy undertaking. It's normal to wonder if it's even worth it before you decide to commit to the relationship long term. It does take patience and respectful communication and a dedication to the process of co-creating a better relationship. But before we begin to look at how to rebuild trust, first, let's take a look at how we can define it. One way that I think about trust, it is our confident belief that our spouse has our best intentions and their motivations are thoughtful and kind and compassionate towards us. They have our best interest at heart, and we are similarly responsive to them and to their needs. It's kind of a simple definition of trust, but I think it covers all the bases. I think we're all born with the ability to trust others, but through life experiences, many of us become less trusting and we begin to protect ourselves in ways that are really not helpful and create more disconnection in the long run. Think about it for just a minute. When you fell in love and you were getting married, and you felt this invigorating, intoxicating, and albeit scary emotions, all of that was happening at the same time for both of you. And most of us had questions about our own or our fiance's ability to keep promises, to be dependable, and to not keep secrets, that kind of thing. On the other hand, as engaged and newlywed couples that I have seen over the past 17 years, many of them said, of course we trust each other, of course we do. So you get both perspectives at the early stage, but most of us vacillated between all of that. But in reality, trust is built over time as we continue to feel emotionally safe with each other. John Gottman says that the work of building trust occurs as we move through life together. He says that there will be misunderstandings and there will be miscommunications, and then there needs to be repairs. That's where the healing and the learning and the integration happens. It's in the repair. I can't say it strongly enough. He developed this beautiful acronym. It's called Attune, A-T-T-U-N-E. A starts with awareness, and that's just where we acknowledge each other's emotions. We're consciously looking for them, for your spouse's and your own emotional state. And then the first T is called turning toward, and that's where you address your spouse's emotions. You talk about them. And then the second T is for tolerance. And that's where we accept the reality of your spouse's emotions. And then the U is for understanding. And that's where we momentarily put our own perspective aside and where we seek to understand their perspective. And then N is for non-defensive responding or listening. And that's where you ask questions and you help clarify your spouse's position first. You're going to get to yours. You're going to get to do all of this. And then E is for empathy. And that is just where we understand our spouse's experience and we let them know that we understand what their experience is like. And we don't have to agree with any of this, but remember, it's all about the understanding of where they are and what's going on with them. And in turn, they're doing it for you too, whoever's listening to this video. I was reminded of John Gottman's Attune acronym a couple of weeks ago when I was flying back from Austin. We had just finished an EMS weekend, and I kind of chuckled to myself because when I read a book, I have to have a pencil and a ruler in my hand because I underline things that seem important to me. And I looked across the aisle from me, and there was a man that had John Gottman's book, What Makes Love Last. And he had his pencil, and he was over there underlining it. I don't use highlighters, and most people do. I'd never seen anybody else do the underlining with a pencil, so I got a chuckle out of that. But But it was good because it reminded me of his book. And he suggests that we create attunement through this art of intimate conversations. And this is where the Attune acronym comes from. I just skimmed the surface. You can read about it in his book. He says that attunement happens one conversation at a time over the lifetime of the relationship. Conversation is an art, and intimacy, I think, is fundamental to building trust. Remember, these conversations are hard, and they're not pleasant, especially at the beginning of infidelity recovery. They're not going to make us feel close in the moment most often. They get there, but not at the beginning. They're messy, but they're so important. He says that intimate conversations include learning to put your feelings into words and ask thought-provoking, open-ended questions, and then making sure that you understand what your spouse is saying and feeling by responding back in your own words, reflecting the emotions that you heard. And when your partner feels felt and understood, it will open them up to share even more with you, which leads to more connection and more attunement. And as hard as it may be, I think there's no better time to begin to practice what John Gottman is teaching than right now. If you're watching this video, you're probably going through the most difficult season of your life. I believe that betrayal trauma presents a unique opportunity like nothing else does. It presents an opportunity to repair and heal and then increase safety and trust. And please hear me, I'm no way minimizing the heartbreaking pain caused by infidelity. It creates a pain like nothing else. I know that it's very difficult to reestablish trust after infidelity, but I also know that it is more than possible. Affair Recovery's research suggests that after just 1 year of disciplined, intentional work, better than 80% of the couples report having a better marriage than they ever did. But I also want to stress that you can't stop there. Building a better and better relationship is a lifetime endeavor. Some of the best and strongest relationships that I know are based on the hard work, the repair, and the healing after infidelity. And I just want to say again that infidelity work is hard and it takes time. It's messy, and you're both going to make mistakes along the way. And in the beginning, the unfaithful spouse, I think, needs to be the one to lead the way in taking responsibility and reestablishing trust and expressing empathy. And then the betrayed spouse will come along, but it will be lonely for both of you in the beginning. So let it be messy, take breaks, and keep trying, and just go back to the Attune model if you can. Read John Gottman's book. And if you're the unfaithful spouse and need help with expressing empathy and reestablishing trust, I'd like to invite you to consider enrolling in the Hope for Healing course. It's a 17-week course designed to help you in many aspects of your healing journey that are unique to the unfaithful spouse. It covers things like healthy communication, how to create safety for you and your spouse. It covers a little bit of neuroscience and much, much more. You can check it out at affairrecovery.com. All the details are there under the Programs tab. Thanks so much for joining me. It is always good to be with you, and I'll see you again soon.